you'll be surprised at how mixed the comment section is. Like some people are really positive or they're like pragmatic about it. Like the first really pragmatic comment I saw was, it's a city where humans live. Of course, there's a pollution. It's a big city.
Yeah.
Rainbow emoji. And then the second one was Sunday morning, nothing to complain about. I'm in Bangkok, didn't notice anything like that. Right? The third one is super sarcastic. There are parts of Bangkok where you have to chew the air before inhaling, which I was like,
first?
come on, it's not that bad. It's not,
No,
you know,
it's not
not
that
terrible.
bad.
Welcome everyone. It's about that time of year again. People are going on vacation. The tourism scene is in full swing and we're shopping for last minute gifts. I know I am. That's right. It's PM2.5 season.
Yeah, and whether you call it hate or smog or straight up air pollution, PM2.5 is one of the biggest environmental issues facing Thailand and the region.
Welcome to the Fireside. I'm Benjamin Ruchopakan.
I'm Supanida Zanmoon. Every week we have a fireside chat exploring what's going on in Thailand, diving deep into our latest obsessions.
This week we're unpacking just what exactly is PM2.5, why that matters to you, and what are the solutions. Before we dive into this week's topics, let's introduce ourselves and the program.
Yeah, of course. So what's the objective? Oh, this is so formal actually. But
Yeah.
I think people who are like listening to on our podcast program or watching right now might wonder like, what is Fireside Thailand?
Yeah, I know. When I was pitching the name, it was not the most popular.
What was your inspiration?
Everybody was scratching their head about it, like, is this really like where you want to go with it? But I got the concept from the idea of fireside chats.
Oh yeah.
And the first time I ever heard of a fireside chat, I was going to Texas earlier this year, and they had all of these conversations on major stages with CEOs, C-suite people, like tech leaders. And it was a really nice sort of informal chat about, the issues of their industry. And when I researched into it, it turns out that actually the original concept of the fireside chat comes from US President Franklin D. Roosevelt. And he started it as a series of radio chats, radio conversations to talk about the issues.
Ah, I see. So
Yes.
make a formal or a hard issue to be like something that lays formal and make it conversational.
That's exactly right. So with the fireside, we want to discuss, the issues of the day. We want to cover it from different angles. We don't want to get too caught up in the format, and we want to be sort of free to be ourselves and talk about it like, what does the average person feel about these kinds of issues and, the obsessions and the rest of it.
Definitely. So if you are interested in Thailand's issue or what's happening in Thailand, or even like what's going on about the policy which is related to you, or maybe you just fly from other countries and arrive in Thailand. So we might help you somehow to like get to know Thailand's thing more.
A
little bit more.
Exactly. Like all the different topics that I want it to be relevant to people living in Thailand. I want it to be people who, it affects them.
Today's episode, what is it about?
Well, we're going to talk about something that really affects us every single year. It's a seasonal issue because every year when the weather gets a little bit mild and it's chilly in some places, we have to deal with air pollution, and people have to mask up. They have to protect themselves from this issue that affects really like not just people here in Thailand, but across Southeast Asia, right? And I remember the first time that it really became an issue, I think it was like 5 or so years ago, where I thought that it was fog.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Right? Like when you rolled up into the city and you saw this blanket, it looked like fog.
Yeah,
right?
like 5 years ago, it started to be an issue. I remember that, and I witnessed that social issue that just come up, especially on the internet.
Yeah. We kept on thinking like, because we're so used to like traveling actually to see fog in the north, that was like, oh, okay, I don't even have to go up north. I can see it here in Bangkok. But turns out, yeah, it's smog. It's PM2.5, right?
So after that, it happens every year. So when you're scrolling on the social media, it's mix of the content of I visit this place, I visit this place for Christmas, for like mountain in the winter season. But another topic is photo of Bangkok wrapped in smog, or someone's screenshot of the Air for Thai. You know Air for Thai?
Yeah.
It's the application to check the fog and smog, showing AQI number. So you will see captions like so many sarcastic captions, like winter vibe, but make it unbreathable. You have selected and collected so many.
While I was researching this topic, the first, like, I saw on Kasot English's Facebook page, they were doing an album post of like all the different pictures of how heavy the PM2.5 is. And you'll be surprised at how mixed the comment section is. Like, some people are really positive, or they're like pragmatic about it. Like, the first really pragmatic comment I saw was, it's a city where humans live. Of course there's a pollution. It's a big city. Rainbow emoji. And then the second one was, Sunday morning, nothing to complain about. I'm in Bangkok, didn't notice anything like that. Right? The third one is super sarcastic. There are parts of Bangkok where you have to chew the air before inhaling, which I was like, come on, it's not that bad. It's not, it's not terrible.
Bad. Yeah.
There's a whole range of different attitudes and different opinions, and it affects people differently. So before we get any further, I really want to get into what exactly is PM2.5 and make sure that we're all on the same page, right?
Yeah, because for some people who might listening to us right now might wonder, what is it, for some people who haven't heard about it before, why Thai people always talk about PM2.5, because for some countries just say it's air pollution, right?
That's right. They just say it's air pollution, it's smog, it's haze. And, PM2.5 has really become synonymous. It's really become like a placeholder for what we call this worsening air pollution over the recent years. And it's not something, it's sort of used to distinguish from the regular kind of air pollution that we're used to. So that's why Thai people are sort of more familiar with the terminology of PM2.5.
Yeah, so it leads to the foundation knowledge about what PM stands for. And what is 2.5 actually.
Yeah. So PM, part of it is particulate matter, and the 2.5 is a class of particulate matter. So in different scientific studies, you're going to see this as a capital P, capital M, and then a subscript coming below it that says 2.5. So when you put in formulas and stuff, then you know what it's measuring, right? So 2.5 refers to the diameter of the particulate matter, which is 2.5 micrometers, right? So 2.5 micrometers, that's really tiny. And if you want a comparison, like, let's say that my arm is a meter long, right?
Yeah.
And if you divide it 100 times into 100 pieces, that's a centimeter, right? If you divide my arm like 1,000,000 times, that is a micrometer. So that's 1 micrometer, right?
So you are saying that the smaller, the more dangerous that it could be.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. Because people think that, if I can see it, then it must be really bad, right? But it's really the fact that it's so small, and if you're still seeing it, that's how much of it there is in the air, right?
Yeah, so it's interesting how PM2.5 seems to get much more attention in Asia compared to the Western countries. Like over here, especially in places like Thailand, Myanmar, China, India, people are like constantly checking air quality apps, like what we do, wearing masks or sharing pollution updates online. I think the big deal, because the haze and pollution around this area is visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and can take like picture and can see
You can
in
see it.
picture.
Exactly.
So how much PM2.5 is too much?
Well, it's just to like circle back a little bit. People PM 2.5 being so small is how it it doesn't get filtered by your nose, it doesn't get filtered by your throat, so it can enter your bloodstream and you can it circulates in your body, and then it can cause all kinds of heart and lung problems, respiratory issues, and even cancer. So that's why it's really dangerous. And because it's so small, it also hangs in the air for longer. It's not falling to the ground and creating that sort of sheen of dust. So you're more likely to breathe it in over time. So if we talk about like how much is too much exactly, well, the WHO says that the PM 2.5 concentration should not exceed 5 micrograms per cubic meter, and the daily average, which is what we're more familiar with, it shouldn't be higher than 15 micrograms per cubic meter, and it shouldn't be higher than that for 3 to 4 days out of the year. But actually, there's a lot of data showing that there is no continent on Earth that actually meets that standard. The closest one would probably be Europe.
Yeah.
To getting to that standard, and even they can't meet it. So it's a very idealistic standard, and Thailand is kind of in the middle of the pack. Like Southeast Asia as a region is kind of in the middle. It's not the worst and it's not the best. And the Thai government has set an annual average target of 15 micrograms. So the daily standard for the WHO is the annual standard, and the daily average or the daily target for us is 37.5 micrograms per cubic meter.
Yeah, and you have mentioned about the region, that each region have different kind of issues and problems. So seasonal problem affects several Southeast Asian countries as well.
Right.
So that government, including ours, have tried to initiate policy to overcome these challenges. Like recently, there an intergovernmental conference of the parties to the ASEAN Agreement on Trans-Boundary. I have to read this because it's so long.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
The ASEAN Agreement on Trans-Boundary Haze Pollution, or we can call it shorter as COP19, which will be attended by ministers, officials, and representatives for the environment, for land, anyone who work on this area.
Right.
Also, the 8 ASEAN member states and their Secretary General of ASEAN on 18th of December 2024 in Bangkok.
Right.
So, we are hosting this COP19, and it's going to be like focusing on several topics and issues that they are going to try to initiate other policies and follow up the policy that they have initiated last years or previous years.
Right. Just to keep each other accountable.
Yeah.
I really like the idea, whatever the outcomes are, I really like that Thailand is spearheading this, because it really affects people not just in Bangkok, but in the north as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that we're trying to do something. We're trying to show a little bit more regional leadership.
And the result of it, we are going to talk about the measures that has been initiated in Thailand. It's going to be launched next year. So we are going to touch about this topic next episode.
That's right. This time we talked about what exactly is PM 2.5, introduced ourselves a little bit, but next time we're going to go into all the different causes and compare and contrast some of the different solutions as well.
Yeah, don't forget to like and share and subscribe, or at least give a comment and give a feedback for us. So we are going to read all those comments from you.
That's right. And I've been Benjamin Ruchopakan.
And I'm Om. Thank you for watching and listening, and see you next episode.